I'd rather you weren't staring at me. Do you know what? I'm just going to do the intro whilst you stare at me, because maybe it'll make me do it first time because I'll be so nervous. What's happening, people? I have Andrew. Andrew? I just called you Andrew. I have Aaron in the background trying to put me off. As you probably know, I don't have any sponsors. I don't have anyone funding this podcast. I'm funding it out of my own bank account. So all I need you to do is sign up for the Gym Will Fix It program in the description below and like it on whatever platform you're on, or whatever the version of liking it is. Rating on Spotify, rating on Apple, leaving a cute little review on Apple Podcasts. Whatever you can do to help the podcast, it would be appreciated a lot. Enjoy the show.
Here I was in Manchester the other day and we were out and some girl walked past me and goes, Ruari. And I was like, you alright? She goes, I seen you off Instagram, I'm Scottish. Yeah. I goes, well, how are you? She goes, Celtic or Rangers? That's the first thing she said to me. Out of anything, I was just like, are you serious? I goes, what are you? She goes, Celtic. I go, same. Just walked away then.
We absolutely love it.
Ruari,
how many followers have you got now?
280,000.
To the T.
To the T.
And so you've been gaining a few followers on Instagram. What I asked you was, what was it like to go back and play against Linfield, score a goal, and still get beat?
Heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. The fact that I put us up 1-0 up, it was absolutely heartbreaking. And yeah, and then I got injured 2 weeks later, which just made things
I seen that there's no more football stats after that.
That's it.
Do you know what? Done. So see my research for people, I usually go through their Instagram. But like, especially when I look through Sean's, then Tony's, then yours, I'm like, I'm getting nothing from like seeing, because we all make similar content.
Exactly.
So I just typed in Ruairi Croskery.
See the stats.
And I was just on the transfer market. I was trying to work out how much you were worth, but I couldn't figure it out.
Fuck all now.
Is that?
Yeah. There was one stage all the boys were texting me about Football Manager. Apparently I was quality in Football Manager. They all had me on their team.
One of those growers that you buy when they're
just playing in the Irish League all the time, just scoring goals for fun. I didn't go any further than that there. Tried to get into England and they're just like, nah, not good enough, but just stay in Ireland and you play. But all the boys had me and they always sent me over the stats and all. So I was only good in Football Manager, not in real life.
What happened?
Obviously I was over in Manchester United. I had a lot of injuries, but I'll always say that's not the reason I didn't make it. It's hard to make it at that level. It was mental. Mm-hmm. And when I came home, I got released at 18, came home, played for a year, went to America, same process, got injured again and just came back home. And that was just sort of like my career summed up was injury, play well for a bit, injury, play well for a bit, and then...
What injuries?
Ankle every time. I done my I done my shoulder in America. That was my last one, my AC joint, but it was always ankle ligaments every time. And mine's still wrecked there. I went back to football 2 weeks ago, just locally, just to train. And the physio I seen just said to me, you shouldn't be doing it, but I just can't be arsed.
What is it you've actually done to your ankle?
I literally, if I got a list out, it's about that long. I text my old physio, it's like, all these mad, I don't know all the fucking scientific words for it, but there's like 3 ligaments, snapped, cartilage hanging off the bone. It's all that there. And I was supposed to get surgery with Portadown last year. And this is an exclusive because we fell out over it all, but I played in the Gaelic match. I played 10 minutes at the end of a Gaelic match with my family. My dad was the manager.
Is that the one you posted an Instagram picture of?
Yeah.
Is that what fucked you?
Yeah. And my 2 brothers played with me, and I was like, my dad says to me, can you give me 10 minutes? I done the warm-up just to help the boys, and I goes, fuck it. I was seeing the lights by. We were 4 points up, and I was like, right, I can come on, score the winner. And then I came on, we won, thankfully, not because of me. I actually missed the one-on-one, but we'll go over that. And I got a phone call the next Friday, and there was Portadown. I was like, well, how we going? They're like, yeah, we're just going to have to postpone your payment for a while. I was like, what are you talking about? It's like, were you playing in a Gaelic match last week? And he goes, who told you? And he goes, I seen a photo. I was like, fuck.
You didn't need to do it for the likes, man. You'd got away with it.
I didn't even put it up. It was a local newspaper, and I was like, you bastards, because Portadown from where I live is about 45-50 minutes, so like they wouldn't really see the local paper, so it wasn't even in my mind that I would have got caught doing that, and they were obviously paying for the whole surgery and everything. So I went up and met with the board and stuff, and they just explained it's business and it looks bad that you're able to do that and get away with it and all. So I was just like, look, we'll just agree to disagree here. I thought it's still
10 minutes.
I was like 10 minutes in the game, but I just signed the release forms from there. We just agreed just to sort of go our separate ways, and that was it. I didn't get my surgery.
That's why there's no more stats on Google.
No more stats. You've probably got better stats than me now.
Mate, I went back to football about 3 months ago, but I just played amateur or whatever, and I went back to an amateur team, and it is the most disgusting group of type of people I've ever met in my life.
Cigarettes half time after the game.
It's from a place called Airdrie in Glasgow, mate, and I've honestly never... I hope none of them hear any of this, but I've never met bigger tramps in my life.
That's...
Like, I was actually like, you are disgusting.
That's Sunday League football.
Like, proper racist sort of comments coming out all the time. Then they put me in a group chat, and it was just like, one of them posted a video of them with a bottle of Buckfast at the Orange Walk. I was like, get me to fuck. Get me so far.
That's not a bit of you.
To fuck out of this shit that is minging. And even the guy, like, mate, there's... what about this? I'm like, I wouldn't say... I don't really get angry, but I do get angry when I play football. Like, I was...
It's the adrenaline.
The first 2 games I played like really, really good.
Aye.
And like I've got a good touch and stuff, but I get so sore after I play football. Like all my old injuries come back as well.
You feel like you can't walk
I've
for
got
2
a
days
sore
after.
Yeah. And like I always used to go to people like, how sore do you actually get?
Yeah.
Because I feel like I get abnormally
I'm
sore.
really sore as well. I actually feel like I've been hit by a bus.
I
I
wouldn't
don't know
be-
if it's because sometimes when I'm heavier, when I'm lighter and in better shape, I feel like I recover better. But
Yeah.
when you gain a bit of timber
the
and you start playing again,
The back of my Achilles was like
Aye.
fucked as well, and like I couldn't see. We were playing on 3G, and I couldn't like turn and all that.
it's the worst place.
And
to
it
play
was
on
like
as well.
24/7. I was doing clients in person and stuff
Aye.
as well, and it's just like I'm so
Can't
sore.
even do the demonstrations for them.
why is my shoulder sore? Do you know what I mean?
I know.
But we were doing a corner and like this guy had been arguing with me in the pitch, and I do like winding people
Aye.
up, but I'm just a wind up merchant, and I was winding them
can
up. And then there's a guy who was like 6'5", and he just went, "You do the TikTok videos?"
Oh, no.
in the middle of the pitch as
No.
well, and I was like, and he's like, "Make any money?" I was like, "Fucking hell."
Fuck off.
Sub, please sub me. I don't know what to do in this situation.
Oh, man, it's
Because there's
so-
one guy trying to give me stick. This
Aye.
guy's asking me how much money.
How do you drop body fat, mate?
Oh,
It is. It's
horrible.
bad. That happened to me last year in a Gaelic match. Gaelic's quite aggressive. Like when you're getting
I've been to see it a few times.
hitting tackles, and we got in a bit of a scuffle. And some cunt just goes to me, "Just go and make your wee TikToks, mate." And I was like, "Oh, it hurts." Like
You
it's-
can't come back from that.
No, what do you say?
You've no comeback.
I go,
at
"So
all.
your ma watches it." I swear to God,
That's the only thing you could have
your ma loves it. Such a horrible thing to say.
Were you good at Gaelic as well?
I don't want to blow my own trumpet. I was half decent. My little brother's really good. He played for county, which is like the high level of Gaelic.
Yeah, you have to explain all these
Yeah,
things.
that's what I was gonna say. See when you're
Just
trying to
put
explain
it in
it.
Celtic or Rangers categories to me.
I don't even know how to with that. It's that complicated. But he played at the highest level. Basically, it's basically like playing for your country, in, like Scotland, for example.
Thank you, mate.
So we've always our family's sort of sporty, so we've always been decent.
And
But
how good was he? Was he like James Forrest good or Henrik Larsson good?
if he
Gaelic.
watches Henrik Larsson, if he's not watching James Forrest, he was decent. He's better than me, and I won't admit that in a lot of things. And I even got him into the gym there when he was
Oh, really?
thing, and he's stronger than me now. And he's just got that natural athleticism, and it breaks my heart because
Really
I don't
annoying,
fucking
isn't
have.
it?
Yeah, and he just takes the piss out of me now. So-
Surely you have a bit of that though from football, no?
Yeah, I've always had the greedy bastard initiative in me. Like I just love food, and even when I said this when I was over at United, I still ate like a bastard. But we trained that much, and I was young, and it just didn't affect your body
But see
whatsoever.
when you hear like all of the like Gary Neville and stuff talk
Aye.
about it, their diet wasn't class.
Exactly.
Roy Keane talks about his
But
diet.
that culture back then was like pints after matches, even if you were a first team player. But now you don't have that. It's all recover, ice baths, all this shite. And I still live in that sort of old attitude where if I have a match, we're out for pints after. And it's always
Yeah.
been like that there. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's sort of when I stopped playing football, I continued eating shite, and that's what made me gain a lot of body fat after. And then I met Tony, and I got in with him, and I'd done the same, and I just yo-yoed for a couple of years, and it's just
Did
trying
you
to.
live in England then?
Yeah, I lived 4 years in England.
How was
Moved
that?
away when I was 14 in with a family. It was good. Like people say, did you not miss home and all? But I actually didn't. Like I've always been straight tunnel vision to be a footballer. And then when I got that opportunity, I just took
Yeah.
someone's arm off for it and moved over. And I never really missed home. Like literally not once. 'Cause it's England. Like it's only 30-minute flight away, so it wasn't too stressful for me.
Manchester's literally just over the water. It's
Yeah,
the same,
literally 30
Glasgow's
minutes.
just over the water. So
But it was an amazing experience. And me and my missus started going when I was over there. So we've done long distance for 2 years over there. Moved back for a year, and then we've done 3 years when I was in America as well. So it maybe just helped us that wee bit before we moved to America, sort of live away from each other.
there's a rumor going about that you said that Scott McTominay was shite when he was younger, or that he was like a little midget boy.
Yeah, I didn't say shite. Though.
You said he was a midget
He was
on any of
tiny.
the growth sport.
Yeah,
sport?
he was under 18s. He didn't really play much, and that's not me chatting shit. He didn't play much. I'd say he was about 5'8" or 5'9".
Oh, really?
When we were under 17s, 18s, and then I think they kept him on because they knew he was gonna hit a growth spurt because he had really bad knees, same as Rashford. It's I don't know the name for it. It's like something slaughters or something.
I had it.
Yeah, really bad.
Osgood Slaughters. I had it in both
Yeah.
knees. So like five of the people in our team had it.
It's
you
mad.
could tell we had because we had to have
The
plasters
lumps,
on.
and you get the wee lumps in the
We
bottom
had,
of your knees.
but we had wee plasters over them,
Aye.
like blue plasters. I don't know if that's a Glaswegian thing.
I was
And that
gonna
was just
say.
that's what I was just trying to
Bring away
cover up.
plasters.
I just stick that on. That'll stick. That wee bump will go away. And we were all fucked with me. I couldn't sit on a. See, my worst nightmare was like sitting on a plane or
Aye.
something because it would throb.
Yeah, because it's bent
It
constantly.
was agony. Like
Yeah.
so, I couldn't do like a long distance journey or anything. I would have to sit and like
Stretch out.
go like that.
Go for a dander.
Yeah, and I still think it's a wee bit. That affects you still a wee bit, but it's the actual bumps away.
Yeah.
But that was horrific.
It is brutal, and that's him and Rashford didn't play for a good 6 months at one stage because they were recovering. They couldn't play on 4G pitches or anything like that. They just weren't allowed to. And then they obviously kept him on because he was going to hit one. The cunt's massive now. He's like 6'4". But he was never playing too much, and I would still speak to him sometimes outside of football. And fuck him actually, because I texted him about going over the United match last year, and my missus, he's like, "Yeah, text me when you were coming over in the week bore," and I texted him the week before, got nothing.
I seen this
Had to
clip
buy
on
tickets
TikTok
last
of
minute.
a guy saying I was a midget. Shove your tickets up your arse.
You wee cunt. You were shite anyway. But no,
Can't even get a game for Porta.
fuck off. I was injured, a swerve injury prone. But no, he's a good lad, Scott. He was, and so most of them were like over there. It was such a hostile environment as well because you know you're playing against everybody. Even though you're on a team, you're sort of like, fuck him if he's doing well. You don't want them to do well if they're in your position.
Yeah, because it's not even. It's also, I'd imagine, it's not even about your actual team doing well because
Yeah.
you're thinking, no, but I need to get into the first team.
So like we were getting beat, and I scored 3 goals. I couldn't give a fuck if we got beat. I was buzzing. I scored, and it's the same. Sometimes boys weren't passing me and stuff like that. You had that a lot. There was one boy I hated in our team, and like we never seen eye to eye. And this I said this in another podcast before. Over there, it's mad. You think everyone's just wee goody two shoes. If you had an argument, the boys went and got the boxing gloves, and you fucked them in the change room. You used to beat the fuck out of each other in the change room.
Really?
1v1 every time, yeah. Until
What the
someone's
fuck?
like, right, that's enough. Now we used to crowd round and let two boys take into each other.
Was this the coaches?
No, the coaches didn't know about it. They probably did. They just didn't get involved with it. But I had an argument with a boy once, and he says, "Right, have a boxing match." And I was like, "No bother," because I knew it would have took his fucking head off, and it did. And I was just like, "Why did you even try that there?" And he goes, "Oh, I just wanted to." I was like, "Fair enough." I mean, he's a wee small guy, like it is.
Just get it out of your system.
Yeah, but.
Did you see eye to eye after that?
Oh yeah, 100%. Some
help.
days I loved him, some days I hated him. It was one of them relationships. He was from England. He's one of them wee cheeky wee fuckers, you know.
Or
Like,
you try to pin it on English people?
no, that's
What are you saying?
anybody English people about here.
I slag them off all the time.
But no, there's just you have a lot of attitudes in fucking change rooms like that who think they're better than other people, and then where we're from, where it's just like everyone's equal. Where we're from, and just I was like, fucking, I'm not having it.
That's what it was like. I think that was the most painful thing for me in London.
Aye,
Was just hearing the chat.
yeah.
Like, see if you go into a pub and like, oh, we made this deal, and you're
Oh,
like, shut up.
It's just not like back home at all, is
fuck
it?
up.
I
So,
know.
I think I got high blood pressure from living in London.
I couldn't picture you in that there environment.
I was just like, shut up.
Eye twitching all the time.
Oh,
Listening to it.
genuinely. Fuck up. That's what I found most painful. With the, like, do you regret anything that you done, or is it, do you think it literally is just you got injured? and it's-
Yeah, I wouldn't even say if it's just got injured, because I even think if I didn't get injured, I would have had a better chance, but I don't think I would have made a Premier League standard. I generally don't. I'm not saying I'm not good enough. I'm not saying I'm shite, but I just think I could have definitely played at a higher level in England, but I just don't think it would have been at United. I just don't think it would have continued that far. But in terms of regrets, no, I hate that cliche. No regrets. Fuck all that shit. But I was I don't think I've done anything out of the ordinary. We went out a couple of times and got caught, but I don't think that determined whether I got a contract or not, because I think all of us got caught at one stage. But the boys got to go home at the weekend in England, whereas we had to stay. So like there was
Was
me.
there a lot of yous that had to stay?
There was me, a boy from Glengormley, a fella Jordan Thompson. He plays for Stoke.
Right.
Championship. Me and him and another boy from Bristol, and unfortunately we all enjoyed a drink and lived together, so we would go out on the weekends, and if we got the people knows everyone about Manchester, so we would get caught, brought in the office on Monday and get a telling off, like, so that's the only thing maybe I regret a wee bit, was drinking too much over there, but it didn't really affect. I don't think it affected.
See if you don't
that
mind
much.
me asking, and I'm going to ask you
Yeah.
anyway, like, how much money you use on when you are like that
150
age?
a week.
150 a week?
150, which was mad when you're 14. Or no, it didn't get that. They were 16. Sorry. First 2 years, I was in a schoolboy scholar, so I was in school over there, and we didn't get paid. But they give you like an allowance, if
Right.
you know what I mean. But it was like they give it to the people that live with you and stuff, and my mum and dad sort of just give us a wee bit and you didn't spend too much. But when you hit 16 and got your own wages, like I literally spent every penny before I moved home.
Oh, it's 150 quid.
Yeah, 150 quid a week. What's that?
I mean, I was fucking dishing.
But you got it in a month, so it's like what? Like I don't even know what 150.
600.
Like 600. I was mad at 16 years old. You're just sort of like, what the fuck? So we were just going out buying shoes, buying all the expensive stuff, and that's the thing. You can't buy shit clothes because if you walk into the change room with shit clothes in a Premier League team, you get absolutely slated for it. Like I wore a Primark jumper once and got absolutely rinsed.
Oh really?
Yeah, I wouldn't wear Primark for 4 years. I swear to God, you ask anybody close to me, I wear anything now. I don't give a fuck now. But back then, I would not buy anything unless it was like designer or something. And I just fell into that trap of just not wanting to get the piss took.
It's so weird because the footballers have the worst dress sense out of anyone.
Because all the designer stuff shite. Like
Yeah.
I've seen Balenciagas selling bin bags for $1,000. I've seen it the other day on Twitter.
Oh, really?
Oh, like I swear to God, with like a wee wrap around the top of it. Like what?
Scott McTominay's probably one of them. Man.
Fucking midget. But no, it's you fall into
Let's
that
not
trap.
slate Scott McTominay.
No, I love him.
Because the goal he scored against was at Israel, I think,
Yeah.
is probably the most I've went mental at.
Serious?
Apart that and when David Marshall saved Mitrovic's penalty that got us in the Euros, mate. See, every time Mitrovic is taking a penalty now, because I watched it with my dad, and it's like we actually like fucking nearly tore the full house down when we went to the Euros. Every time Mitrovic is taking a penalty, my dad's like, "You can miss those."
Seen it before.
Likes to miss these. And I think it's like the only one
Is
he's
your
missed.
dad just like you?
Yeah.
I could picture that there.
My humour comes from my dad.
Yeah.
I think. Like, just self-deprecating as
Dry
fuck.
as
Yeah,
fuck.
yeah.
I love it. My dad's the opposite.
Is he?
Yeah, like I'm very outgoing and loud. My dad be very
Your
in
voice,
himself and
like your
quiet.
voice, is quite loud.
I'm loud as fuck.
Yeah.
This is so Catholic, but I've done a reading at like my nanny's funeral, my granda's funeral, and Sarah's sister's wedding. And every time I came out of the church, everyone would be like to me, "You're very loud in that microphone." Everybody would be like, "Yeah," and whatever, to Christ, and everyone, and I'm like, "Well, I do," straight down the microphone. And everyone's, hey, look, and everybody's sitting like that there. I've just got a really loud voice. I just project it really far, but
Probably from being on the pitch as well.
yeah, because I am quite. Yeah, that's another thing. I was captain in America, so I had to be loud. At the first year, I was really quacks, couldn't be arsed with. And then as soon as I became captain, coach like, you need to be a bit louder. And then when you start swearing over there, you weren't allowed to swear in our league in America.
Oh,
How
in
mad's
America,
that?
I was fucking saying.
Aye, fuck, not over here. Jesus Christ, if you don't swear, you get booked over
Aye,
here.
exactly.
But it was hard because like even if you score, you're like, yeah, fucking get in. The referee sort of look at you and just sort of put your head down. Swear to God, like you get booked for
Oh,
swearing.
you're freaking.
And I
good
actually,
goal.
yeah, I was bloody
Golly,
brilliant.
good. That was a smacker.
But it was such a different culture shock as well.
Yeah.
When you go to England, back to Ireland, and you fall back into the Irish habits of just being mad, and then go to America, whereas in South Carolina it's very like religious and stuff. So nobody really swore and shit like that. Well, obviously in college we did, but like on the pitch, if you went in public, like it was just all like very religious people. So it was like a culture shock as well. The fact that we done a meeting beforehand, and our coach said this, like, you can't swear or you'll get booked and you'll get punished by the college as well for doing it. I was like, what the fuck have I got
Your bum
myself?
spanked.
I was like, Mark, get me a flight home. I'm not staying here.
How did you come to going to America? I was meant to do it as well.
Yeah,
Like, I get-
you must be half decent at football if you do like the freestyling and stuff though.
No, it doesn't cross over at all.
A wee bit.
I would say I was
control.
a 6 out of 10 at football.
That's good. Anything above 5's decent.
Yeah, it was just like decent. Just
But you
very-
could play. You could probably
just
play in
decent.
America because it
Yeah,
would
no,
be
I was good
about-
enough to play
Yeah,
there. And we went to do, so we had to go through the trials. And they let anyone that could kick a
Yeah.
ball straight. And
you're in.
yeah, and I went to go to a meeting with my dad, like in Glasgow, and the guy was just like putting all the prices out, and my dad was like, "Nah, you're
I hear
not."
it's,
Yeah, I'm not.
it's very expensive.
He was like, "Who do you think I am?"
I actually
He's
signed
like,
up.
whatever it was, like 15 grand a year. It's like, I'm making 25 grand, you wee cunt. How am I going to pay for that?
and your shite.
And you've got glass knees. Get in the house.
If you're half decent, I might have thought.
Get in that
about it.
fucking tonics factory. That was my job after. So
I was gonna go. I'd done it for like a month when I came back over lockdown in one of them agencies, and I was trying to do it. I had to get in the call and explain to people how much it cost to get their son over.
no
I was like,
chance.
I can't do this. Like, I generally, because no one's gonna fucking do it. It was like this one was quite. It was like 25 grand to get over for a year. I was like, who the fuck's paying that kind of money? People don't even make that in a year anymore.
And footballers is it's like a very working class thing.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
playing football where I'm from is definitely a working class thing.
It's
no
natural.
one has that kind of money to just throw you.
It's just you do it. You don't even want to, but you just do it growing up because everyone else is doing it, and you just sort of, if you're good enough, you go a wee bit further, and if you're shite, you just stay.
Yeah. How was America?
I loved it. I generally did love it. The whole like, that's what I said, the culture shock was a bit different, but in terms of like, it was 35 degrees most days where I live. It was good sun. I never went to class. I bunked it off most of the times and just played Call of Duty and fucking Fortnite all the time. But I got really heavy over in America. It's called the Freshman 15, where you put on 15 pounds in your first year because all the food, and you're just so excited about it. Just living on your own, away from your parents, and just going mad. And that's what I done. And I was drinking a lot and just I just enjoyed the whole college lifestyle. And it caught up on me like until my last year where I got in good shape. And then the 2 years I was in bad shape, I played all right and I was decent. I was like, right, if I get in really
when you
good,
were fat.
yeah, I was fat. I was still good. Like,
I've seen pictures of you. Like you were, we can say you were
very
quite.
100 kg.
Was that how heavy you were? Fuck.
And right now I would consider myself in just about average shape, and I'm 87 this morning, so I was 13 kilos heavier.
Fucking
and I was banging goals in over in America. That's the standard there, like. But
golly, good goal.
My manager just told me to stay up front and just score, and that was.
Were you a striker?
Yeah, a striker. And then when I got decent shape, I went to winger. But that's what I was saying. For 2 years, I was all right. I was good. I was scoring a few goals, but I was fat. So then I lost weight, and I was like, right, I can be really good this year. Got injured the day before the season, last pre-season game, went up for a header, that's when I was done my shoulder, landed by my AC joint, just popped up, and that was me out for basically the whole. I got in for the last game of the season in the final, and I came on and scored a penalty, stat padding, took the penalty off everybody, scored in that, and then the next round we went in the Nationals and got beat, so I played like 3 or 4 games maybe that year.
Fucking
hell. I know, it was fucking shocking, and I got really. And then after that I was annoyed, so I got in bad shape again. I just ate everything and drank.
Big Macs. Was the culture the same in the team? So one of my mates done it as well, and it looked as if he had quite a lot of English, and he had like 3 Glaswegian mates.
Yeah, we had our first year, our whole team was European, starting 11. All the subs were American. And
when you mean European, you also mean UK and
yeah,
Ireland.
like UK, Ireland. I forgot about that. It was like Spanish. There was a boy from Dublin live with me, boy from Glasgow live with me, and then 2 English in our house. Right. So like it was very like, that's what I mean. You sort of fit in straight away because all the boys like you, but when you go outside the football team, and like we had like baseballers in our class and all, we got on with them really well, but they're just so funny. Like it's just so different the way they get on all the time, and we'd be walking down the street and we have training, and they'd have training in like an hour, but they're sitting there drinking whiskey and fucking Mountain Dew. That's what they used to. They would drink before. Yeah, whiskey and Mountain Dew. They used to drink before training and all because they don't do
Americans.
much. Yeah, they just swing and like throw and swing.
Oh, baseball,
whatever.
Right. I thought you were talking about football.
What the fuck? I wish.
Jesus Christ.
But they would just sit and drink before training because all they do is do their positions. Like they don't have a big training session. If they're a thrower, they just throw it.
Baseball's a farce, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's shit.
Cricket's a farce.
Yeah, I hate cricket.
Cricket's a shitter version of rounders.
I generally
I would watch rounders 100% Sky Sports
before cricket.
Oh, definitely.
I don't get it. I don't even know what wickets and all are. Like we tried to play it once in England. I was like,
I got dragged to watch it in Australia, and it was like Australia v India.
And they love it over there too.
But nothing happened for like 4 hours. Cunts are doing yoga stretches and all that. Like, who are you kidding on?
See, I'm the same with F1.
Michael's into that.
I know. I text him one day. He goes the best. I just goes, it's shite, Michael. That's all I say.
He's a virgin. It's so bad, mate. Nothing happens.
It's not worthwhile. I just don't get how you can enjoy cars going around in a circle. I know people say about football, like, oh, it's just kicking in the net too, but fuck up. No, it's not.
Stuff happens. People attack each other.
True. I know.
Some of the best laughs I ever had in my life was our like team from maybe me being like 15 to like 18, because it was everyone from my sort of school.
Aye.
Then like the ones next to us as well, and it was all rough as fuck. And it was hilarious.
That's what I'm doing now. I'm playing with the boys at the minute who I grew up with, like just these last 2 weeks, and I fucking love it again. It's just like because I've done so much seriousness through my life, and I just even last year when I was with Portadown, it's serious. You're in the Irish League. And then now it's just like you're just turning up and boys are hungover and all. It's just like this is class. I've missed this.
We used to play this team called Claremont, right? So our pitch was in the middle of like a council estate.
Oh, lovely.
And you must know what Hamilton is. Hamilton's quite rough as well. I went to school in Hamilton.
Aye.
So in the middle of like a massive council estate, and it's called Fairhill, right? And it's rough. It's fucking rough. There'll be a metal fence along the side, and then you just see syringes because they've been taking heroin. Swear to God, right? And they'll be all watching the game while Buckfast and all that shouting at. They don't even know who we are. And we used to play this team called Claremont. And for some reason, it all like they near get abandoned every time.
Just
they were
mad.
just fucking mental. And I remember we were getting beat 3-2, right? And it was tense as fuck. And I scored like one of the best goals I'd ever scored. I was like, the keeper came out, right? He came out like 20 yards, kicked the ball up in the air, and then he couldn't get back in time. And I just like fucking swung at it. Wasn't even like remotely talented, but I just smacked it right. And then this boy called Fitzy, I scored. Then he went so mental that he ran along the other team's pitch side and just went, get it right fucking up. He's to every single one of them. And Fitzy was nuts.
Did he not get bothered?
No, he got his second yellow card. Sent off. And like our manager Stuart was just like running down the pitch line and fucking going mental because we hated him that much. And he's like, for fuck's sake, Fitzy, have to go take it too far. And like I think his first yellow card was because he had a best mate called Jack, right? They were from a different school, and Jack got halved by this boy. And Fitzy played left back, Jack played right wing. Fitzy ran 50 yards.
The whole way over.
He grabbed the wrong boy.
Not even
the
worth it.
boy was sitting shitting himself. Fitzy was mental. The boy was sitting shitting himself going, it wasn't me. First yellow card, second yellow card for that.
Too dopey fuck. Oh, that's brilliant. That's just proper old, like just the way it should be. But I love that sort of football. Just random shit happening. I follow them on Twitter, the Sunday League football ones. Yeah, and I just piss myself at them all the time.
The second time we played that team, so they beat us that time because we got a man sent off.
Oh, did they go and beat us after?
Yeah, it was free. That was to make it free each time we got a man sent off.
Fuck, I thought you scored the winner there.
No, it was to make it free each.
Fuck.
He gets sent off, we get beat. And then the next time we played them, we were winning 2-1, and Jack was just fucking used to take the piss out. And some of the things he used to come out with, but it was like the 90th minute, and the ball was like it was a throw in, and the ball was at his feet, and he like kicked the ball with his feet and pretended that he couldn't pick it up and fell over. And this is in like 90th minute, and they're all fucking mental.
They're all going mad.
And our manager went to go mental at him and then just pissed himself off. And then even the ref was like, his lip was like trembling as he gave him a yellow card.
Serious? What do you do that though? You just laugh.
All of us were just actually in hysterics, whilst the other team were like near ready to
they're gonna fucking beat the fuck out of you.
So many fucking. That's what I missed. That's why I always kept on trying to go back to football, and I just couldn't get that.
Them wee games where you get excited for in the morning, you're just like, it's gonna be fucking mad today.
I could never get it again because I feel like everyone that was kind of like on the same wavelength as me when I was younger stopped playing. So then when you go back, you actually play. I don't know what it's like here, but you actually just play with tramps. Like, you actually just play with scum of the earth.
Ours is alright to be fair where I'm from because most of the boys play Gaelic, so they're all in decent shape and they're sort of fit and athletic. Never used to be like that. Like it did used to be mad, but it sort of changed a wee bit up where I live. It's sort of more Gaelic's quite serious now. So like even though you don't get paid for it, which is just mad that they just put their whole life and soul into it, which is fucking man, I could never do that if I'm not getting paid for it. Not being a dick, I just couldn't. That's just not something I'd want to do. So that it's actually like a decent standard now because I thought I was going to go back and it was going to be shite, and I was like, fuck, they're actually decent here.
I don't mean the standard, I just mean the actual
the boys,
the people you play with.
But people again, like we'll play a lot of teams from Belfast and stuff, and they're rough. Like you're going up for a rough game in Falls Road, like in the Belfast. And that's the way it is. But when people come down to us, they just I don't think they think it's going to be too rough. To be honest with you.
How did you? Were you like miserable when you stopped playing? You know, a lot of people like see what would happen to you.
Yeah,
that would put a lot of people in a massive downer.
But there was one of the boys, Charlie Scott, I think it was, done an interview in this, and my mate tagged me in it because I'm in the photo. It was like our team photo, and it's like about depression and leaving after he was at the club 11 years or something, which is fucking mad. And he got really depressed after he got released, and he got really depressed. And I don't think I can understand where people come from in terms of getting depressed like that because they put their whole life and soul into it, but I don't know, like the way it's just generally the way my dad raised me, especially. It's just sort of like, are you gonna sit there and cry about it, or are you gonna fucking do something about it and try and sort of bring yourself up? And I never really stopped the dream of being a footballer until maybe about 2 years ago. Right. So I was always still like, fuck it, I'll try and go for it again. And then like last year sort of just came the reality of it when obviously Instagram and stuff started going away.
When Linfield put that
when Linfield fucked me off. But that just sort of cemented it for me. It's like, I can play at a decent level if needs be over here, but I'm going to focus on my business now that I've only really started, and thankfully it's sort of fucking worked out a wee bit for me.
Yeah, what were you doing in between all of those years? Like when you're like trying to make it and you're maybe coming
in a bar it was her brother's bar for about 6 months. Fucking he had drunk people when I'm not drunk. It was just, and they were all local boys, so they all knew me, and there was people just coming in and talking. You know, when you just can't be arsed listening to people. So I hated that, and then I went to work in a warehouse with my brother, and I actually enjoyed it. It was like, 8 till 5:30. It was long hours, like, but it was decent pay and it was good cracks. My brother was there, so I'd done it. And then when I got injured last year, I was still working there. And then thankfully, that's when I said social media sort of took off, and I actually went full time. So the boy texted me, "When are you back?" I'm like, "I'm actually not going to come back. I'm just going to try this." And he's like, "No bother." He was sound about it. So I was working in a warehouse and a bar. Is the only 2 jobs I've really had apart from football.
I done warehouse. I fucking hated it.
Oh,
And I liked the bar work.
It's cold. It was
I loved
freezing.
bar work.
Did you like it?
I loved it. But I done it here for a while, and I done it in Australia. I like bamming people up, mate. I would
Just
just
taking
I
the
would
piss
just
out of 'em?
bam like Aussies especially. I just bam the fuck out. Like
I
I
can't.
just,
See, I'm the opposite. I just sit there and like just can't be arsed listening to people when they're drunk. They're too loud. I know I'm a loud cunt when I'm sober, but they're just especially when you're tired. I was playing football on the Saturday and coming to work in a bar because I only really done weekends because it just couldn't be arsed during the week, and it was horrible.
we just used to try to be as weird as we could to people. We'd just be really, really
And
strange.
they wouldn't understand it anyway because they're half cut.
Oh, they also my accent. That struggle with that. We just get people come up and they'd be like, "Oh, can I have a margarita pizza?" And we just go, "Yummy, good choice."
Were you working with Mitch at the time?
Like, he was upstairs. So we worked in like a bar, and like I worked in like the upstairs was like a really posh restaurant, but it was all the same thing. So we worked for the same people. Our break room would be the same. But I worked in like the bar that was busy as fuck, and all the people that worked in it were all fried like me. They were all freaks like me.
Not normal.
Like the first day I was there, there was a beachside bit where you were serving people on the beach, and I got put next to a boy from Derry, and like that was the bit where you couldn't hear people the most, and we're like, why the fuck would you put 2 of the fucked accents on the bit where people can't hear anything, and nobody could hear us the full day.
That's mad.
So I worked with some of the most fried people I've ever met in my life. Well, there was a girl from Newcastle, and I get told that she was coming back for ages, and they were like, "Wait till you meet Kaylee, like, wait,
You
just
won't
wait."
understand her.
No, not that. She's something else. And the first day I met her, a guy was trying to chat her up, and he was like, "What are you doing tonight?" And she was like, "Just gonna go home, put Bridget Jones on, and finger myself." And she just looked at him dead in the eye. And she said, "That's it." So that's why I love bar work, because I was just working with absolute mental
And you could
cases.
say anything, and nobody really gives a fuck about it.
Well, people definitely complained about it.
That's why you're back here. Kicked out.
100%.
That's the true story.
But like, they didn't check the stock or anything and all that as well. So mate,
It was just completely different.
I used to give away so many free drinks.
Fucking hell, man.
See, if anyone I knew came in, they would just go, "Can I have 2 vodka sodas?" I didn't even hear what they said. I would just like line up 10 things.
Just
I would
start
just start going like that. I would go, "I only want 2," and I'd be like, "Aye, right enough."
Don't sweat.
I go, "That'd be $10, please, just for all of them."
Why did you come back?
Because my visa was ending.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, I didn't want
How long did you have?
that was nearly 2 years.
Fucking hell.
But my last job was a call centre.
Aye.
Because I moved to Sydney, got a call centre job, and then the day I got put on the phones, realised I was going to
You hated
top
that,
myself.
didn't you?
Yeah, I was going to top myself.
I couldn't do that there. That's
That's
raw.
That was really, really bad. And the day I got put on the calls was the day that COVID went fucking absolutely nuts. So everyone shut down instantly, and I just had to do 5 months of that, mate. And
That's brutal.
that was the worst one. That's when you can really see who I am as a person.
Aye.
If you went back and watched me in there, I was horrific. I used to just stand up and declare my hatred for the place, right next to the team leaders. She'd be like, "Are you going to take a call?" And I would just stand up and go, "I hate this."
Hello?
That's what it'd be like. You're through to Gavin. It's disgusting. There was honestly, if you went in a disabled bathroom in that call centre, there was just like a round mark like that. That was because I headbutted it.
I was going to say, everyone just walked in and punched the fuck out of the
We
wall.
go, "What the fuck is happening there?" I stuck there on it.
I think it's because you're being someone you're not on a job like that. Like, you have to pretend you're fucking buzzing and something you don't give a fuck
I think it
about.
would come across that I was raging.
You let them know.
Yeah, I'd tell them. But I was more... They had it set up in a way that it was like... So it was a stock... It was a share registry. So it was like, if you buy stocks, they were the people that like looked after if you get paid dividends or something. So it's not like the company. It's like just who looks after the actual shares. So when you phoned up, you had to, sometimes they were on hold for half an hour. Then they also had to know some stupid number that was on like a letter that they only got at the very start. So it was all set up for them not to be able to do it.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? It was set up for them not to be able to get the answer they wanted. And I would just have to tell them that I can't tell them what they need to know.
What the fuck?
So do you know what I mean? It was just set up to actually wreck your head. And then they would... See what happens with a call centre. Well, this one, especially this one, I've heard people say that they've worked in call centres that are decent, but this one was just
It's rough.
It was as if they set up everything to be hell. So the longer you were there, the more lines they put you on. So they would train you on other lines.
So you had to do more.
So the longer you're there, the less time you had in between calls. So at the start, we could do a call and then turn to the person next, because there was 8 of us, and we all got trained at the same time. We were all like people on visas,
Aye.
so we were all mates. So at the start, we could like slag each other in between calls, whatever. But then, like, you could just see all of us like that.
Aye, the mood just dropping as the weeks go on.
Because we didn't have any time in between calls whatsoever. And then what they would do is they would just keep training you on other lines. And I remember that the one that was like the final straw for me was when COVID hit. They had, let's just say, the equivalent of Tesco.
Aye.
Tesco gave their company shares. Like, just say it was Tesco for working through COVID. And then they made a thing called an employee share, which was a completely different system. They fucked all of us, like the backpackers, on that line, and none of us had a clue how to work any of it. And I just looked at, like, I went to the team leader, I was like, I'm not taking another call from that line, because you're also speaking to the equivalent of people working in like Outback Australia, working in Tesco, which those people are the stupidest people I've ever spoke to in my whole entire, shagging their sister whilst they're on the fucking phone to you, saying, how can I get this fucking, you know what I mean, well annoying. And I just said to the team leader, I was like, look, that's stressing me out so much that I refused to take another call. And he's like, we'll give you 2 days off. And I was like, you didn't hear what I said. I'm not going back on it. And then like after 3 days, he was like, we're putting you back on it now. And I was like, I'm just telling you now, I'm not going to answer any of those calls. They would just keep coming through, just divert them to someone else. And they go, Gavin, stop diverting the calls. And I was like, I've already told you I'm not doing it. So that's how I got sacked.
Fucking hell. I think sometimes you have to go through phases like that. I know it's fucking all makes you the better person, but I generally think you do have to fucking just be like, I fucking hate this, to make you actually want to go do something else. Because if you don't have that wee bit of that was shit, you're gonna end up just continue doing it, and then you're just gonna fucking hate your life.
I'm so glad that was the last job I'd done before this, because see if it was the bartending one where I was having a laugh, I'd maybe kind of miss aspects of that when you're working
done as much as the gym work and the content and stuff like that there.
When you're working on your own, it can be quite lonely, so I would think about that. But then if I think about the call centre, I'm like, nah, sorry, I'll do Sharon's check-in right now.
It is fucking, I don't think people realise how shit it is sometimes making content on your own all day, isn't it? It's
or like even just the work, like the client work. I don't think online coaching's remotely fun.
No, that's what it's always people think it's fucking beaches and hot countries and all this shit, when realistically it's sitting on my desk with fucking piss and rain out the window, sending voice notes to about 30 people in about 4 hours. And it's obviously, I would rather do it than working like a building site and stuff like that where it is rough and ready, but I just think sometimes it's not the life people think that it is, if you know what I mean. And you get the cons like Mike Thurston and all who are literally top level. None of us are near that there. Like, nobody's near that sort of shit.
Yeah, but he's not even a coach. Like,
I
don't know who he is. He's just a ripped guy that lives in Dubai.
Just a good-looking bastard that just sort of life's worked out for him. And he's probably been through some shit, but I'm just going to judge him off that. He's a good-looking cunt, and he's blessed with that there.
I think he had a gym, and I think he coached. But he's like an influencer, isn't he? Like, we're not influencers. I'm not remotely an influencer.
No, fuck that. If anybody ever calls me an influencer, I don't like that at all. Influence
instead,
people. Are you Sean Casey? Are you that boy from Banbridge? Fuck off. I don't even look like him.
Is that winding you up?
Nah, I don't mind it. I think it's funny. Like, nothing really winds me up when people say stuff like that, but I just think it's hilarious that it still happens a year later. Like, I understood at the start because Sean was really the only Irish one doing it at that stage. Mm-hmm. And then when I started doing it, I was sort of like the second one. I was like his guinea pig after trying to build a business up. And then every comment was BTEC Sean Casey. BTEC Sean Casey. I was like, I sent it to him. I was like, will you tell these people to fuck off? And then you just get used to it after a while.
So I started TikTok before Michael.
Aye.
And I had a video that got me like whatever, X amount of followers, 70,000 followers or something. And Michael just made the exact same one. But I mean, like, word for word, there's people comment and I go, that is this just the Northern Irish version?
And they just tag you in it.
Yeah, exactly.
And he gets raging off that, doesn't he? I can picture him, that'll be brilliant.
Well, I told you the worst thing that's ever happened to him was him at that wedding this year.
That's fucking hilarious.
Someone going, are you Sean? And going, are you Ruari? And he's probably just literally like went in and started cutting his wrist.
I'm way to bed here. I just don't get how you can't, like, I think we all look so different, like completely different. Sean and Mitch probably look a wee bit similar, but my hair is fucking mad compared to them two.
There is a thing with Northern Irish people that are really copying each other though.
Oh yeah,
it's like a whole.
literally. But I think most of them are on Sean's course, and they understand how to work the algorithm now. But all the sayings are like the exact same,
Yeah.
and there's only so many creamy chicken wraps every cunt can make around this place. Whereas just you just get the new. It's like, right, there's enchilada sauce. I'll use the feta sauce today and pour it in. And I'm guilty. I've done it myself. I've made a creamy wrap before, but I think there's just literally every.
Just have the image you saw queuing outside Lidl.
before it opens.
You get that? Can you just airdrop me that? I'll use that and all.
I'll change the captions up.
But
and
let
that's
me
it.
get that protein pudding.
Oh, mate, it's mad. That's someone done a video the other day. He's from here. I actually know
seen
him. What one were you
He's
thinking?
on the calorie deficit.
Mental health.
Yeah,
I
that's
thought that
funny.
was fucking
That's
hilarious.
amazing.
I think I tagged Mitch in it or something, but people know there's that many people around there now, and obviously there's gonna be something getting. You're gonna take the piss out of something for everything. Like take the piss out of us, you can take the piss out of football. That's just the way it's gonna be when you sort of grow a wee bit. But I was pissing myself. Like, there's not many things make me piss myself when I'm looking at my phone. I used to go and then laugh, but I was like crying, and I know him. He's Sarah's best mate's like cousin or something like that, so
Right.
I actually know who he is, and I couldn't stop laughing. But
That was amazing. You know, he did do it so right.
Yeah,
it's
like perfect.
They're
Like-
all the things that people are saying for views.
it's just the way he went protein pudding
Yeah,
in the middle of
No,
it
the
all.
comments were better. He was like, I can't remember what he said. Someone said that they were like, oh, he was like, you forgot about something,
Aye.
whatever, the rap. And he was like, sorry, my mental health was in the air fryer. That was better than the video.
That was the comment I was laughing
It is
at.
mad though, isn't it? See the way people are making recipes. It's literally just, it's not, sometimes
Yeah.
it's not even about the recipe. It's about, right, this air fryer gets views.
Yeah, literally, I think like I always had an air fryer. Like I had one from the start, never used it. Like, and then once I started posting, then everyone's like, I need to get me one of those. Like, they don't give a fuck about my recipe. They just want an air fryer now.
Yeah.
It's just a thing. It's like a kettle. Everyone just has an air fryer now
It's a
in their
trend.
kitchen. But no, some of their recipes and stuff like I see is absolutely shocking. I've made a few myself where I'm just like, how did I even post
Dude,
that on Instagram?
Do you know what? I did see one that made me feel physically ill.
What was it?
You put protein powder in my egg whites and I was nearly
Oh no,
sick.
that's nice. That's a French toast. It's decent. That's what. See if you mix that well. It's all right. One of the ones I
No,
done.
mate, that makes me feel physically.
Nah, the one I done and I posted it, I was like, you know what? I feel sick making this. I got the wrap and it's like sausage roll ups, and I got the wrap and I put what do you call them, like fucking Malin sausages. And I opened the skin and spread them out the wrap, raw sausage around the wrap, and I've put cheese and barbecue sauce on it. And this is while it's still raw, and then rolled it up and put it in the air fryer and used it as sausage roll. It fucking nice, but like I felt sick making it. I was like, I don't know if I want to post this or not because I might get so much
I
shit
just
for
re-
this.
like I've only ever like made one of those things once, and this was before I was PT, right? So I remember I seen this thing, and I used to work with my ex-girlfriend right in the call center. And I seen this thing and I saved it. I was like, I'll make her that at the weekend. We're hungover as well. And it was like a wrap with Nutella and then banana in it, and you cut it. But the way the video looked is like, it looked like a wrap, like it looked class.
Aye.
Like Nutella and banana. I remember making it. Just giving her, and it didn't even fold up right. And I just gave her like that. I just gave her it, and she just went like that.
Fuck up.
Is that what you've been talking about for the last 5 days? And it was like all over her hands and all that. And I was like, is that nice?
That's why these are axes now.
that nice, is it? Do you want to make it that again?
Mate, people don't realize how hard it is to get a meal that looks decent. Like, you see all the fucking McDonald's and all their adverts are all fake. Do you ever see them videos of like how they actually make adverts look nice, and you get it in real life and it looks like someone's fucking chewed it and threw it on the plate? Like, see, it took me a good, like my recipe book, like you want to look half decent. Like, it took me fucking hours sometimes to get the
Yeah.
nice photo, and it stresses the bollocks clean out of you. Like, I haven't done many recipes recently. You've probably seen. I can't be arsed with it at the minute.
Yeah.
I've done the recipe book. I'll maybe do one in the new year, but at the minute I just want to take time from just eating normal fucking food and not pretend everything has to be low calorie, high protein.
Yeah.
But it is. That's
I'm pretending it's nice.
Yeah,
Michael's made me try a few of his, and I'm like that. Yummy.
Michael's good. He makes his.
So Michael, to be fair,
I think he's got the best recipes. Generally, I do think he has got
because
the
he's
best.
actually like loves cooking.
Yeah.
He's an
I hate
actual
cooking.
cook.
I
Yeah.
fucking hate cooking.
So like Sean's are literally just he sticks something in the air fryer.
Yeah.
I've said like, by the way, Sean's heard me say that. Like
Oh,
if
yeah,
Sean
fuck
actually
it.
listens to my podcast. Sometimes he heard me
just
say,
talk shit.
but it's like Sean will just put up a toasty.
Aye. But
4 million views.
But what he's doing now is smart. He goes, this is just a fucking toasty. So he's letting people know
Yeah.
it's just a fucking toasty, and then he's making a toasty.
But Michael would be obsessed with cooking, so like when we lived in Australia, he made us like Christmas dinner and all
Aye,
that, and it was actually class. And I got a wee bit better at cooking from living with him.
But you can tell with his videos, he gets like all these mad ingredients. Like mine have like 3 ingredients. He's got like fucking 20 hanging down. I'm like, how do you have the time
You feel
to even
class
mix
when
all?
you put oregano on something.
I don't even know how to pronounce. I had to fucking Google how do you pronounce oregano.
It's fucking oregano.
That's fucking. Oh.
Yeah, so he was actually obsessed. Like I remember one day, I used to actually learn from him. I used to ask him questions, and I was like, I bought like the sauce for the pasta,
Aye.
and I genuinely didn't know what you do with it. So I was like, here, what do I do with
Was
this?
it just passata?
And he was like, you just put it in. And no, it's like, yeah,
It's just like jarred stuff.
Dalmio
Aye,
sauce
yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
And he was like, you just put it in. And I remember being absolutely terrified. I just had like a bowl of pasta and chicken in it. He was like, just stick it in. And I was like that. I was like, is that it? He was like, that's it. And I was like, that's changed my life.
No, I know how to do that now.
I used to have dry pasta.
Do you know what the mad thing is? Before I went to America, or even my last year in America, I couldn't cook chicken. I didn't know how to cook. We were getting takeouts every time, or else the
Really?
boys would have made dinner and we would have cleaned up and just done like a wee sort of fucking process of it all. And then one day I was like, Dom, I need to learn how to fucking cook, man. I'm going to live on my own next year, probably. And he goes, right, all you do, just cut the chicken up. So I used to just cut the chicken up, put it in the pan, and see when it's not pink, eat it. It's like, changed my life, and now I fucking sold a recipe book. That's the day I sold my recipe book. The boys just wrote in, you're a con artist in my group chat. They go, you're a lying bastard. You couldn't fucking boil an egg last year, and now you're selling recipe books.
But there is people like that genuinely can't cook.
Yeah.
So like as much as like I will slaughter the recipe sort of stuff and all that, and I'll slag the whole Northern Irish people being the same and all that. That's just that. That's just me. I just slag stuff.
It's true.
Yeah. But like when I used to do more sort of fat loss stuff, like I
Aye.
remember I got a DM off a woman. She was like, "I'm 58. I've never exercised in my life. I can't cook anything. I can only cook toast. Like I don't even know how to turn the oven on." And I was like, "Can you help?" And I was like, "No, you're fucked."
Just give up. Just.
How you got to 58?
I don't know how to turn the oven on.
We did it 30.
How the fuck?
What do you expect me to do? Fucking.
Go
not
live
miracle
with
worker.
That's fucking brilliant. Some of the DMs, I love to read out some of the DMs I get off people. They're fucking hilarious. I generally think sometimes I haven't got my life in order, and then someone will send me something like,
Yeah.
"How have you made it this far?" Like I'm bad enough, so I need help a lot of times with a lot of things. But like that, for example, I can't turn the fucking oven on at 15.
I remember some of my first inquiries. See, because this is why I don't really talk about fat loss so much.
Aye.
Or if I wouldn't say the word calorie and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, everyone kind of knows it.
Everyone
You eat
sort
less
of says
calories.
it, yeah.
And so I'd more talk about like mindset and balance and stuff like that. Oh, and it's purely not because I would get more views,
Aye.
but I just don't want to attract that because I was getting loads of people going, "I've got eating disorders and all
Yeah,
that."
no,
Like, oh,
and you
that
can't be
stress
arsed. Yeah,
really
yeah.
stresses
It's
me
too
out.
much. It
But
is.
like my first inquiries was like I remember a woman going, "I've had cancer 4 times. This mental thing happened to me. This mental thing happened to me." He was like, "Can you coach me?" I was like, "Go to the hospital.
Yeah, I am not literally.
A&E right now. Please don't waste time on my Google form."
See, the difference with me and you is I would be like, yeah, calorie deficit. That's all you need, you'll be all right. Nah, I'm only joking. It is, yeah, some of the DMs, and people think sometimes we're like fucking physios and doctors, whereas like, I can teach you how to lose fat, but I don't know what the fuck's going on with your liver. I don't know why you're asking me about your liver and fucking all this stuff. Like, I just know the basics, that's all I know. I've got no
Really,
PhD.
I have this bump in my balls.
Too much protein.
It scared me. The first time I worked in a pharmacy, and I swear to God, I was like 19, and the very first person I served, and I'd worked in the Tunnocks factory before.
What, the tea cakes?
That's so the Tunnocks factory is like 2 minutes from my house.
Aye,
So that was
They're unreal with it.
that was like my first job out of school. Was just like packing them.
Class.
And I used to be that hungover that I would get angry and I would just like break all of them.
Start squishing.
I would,
Fucking
I would
hands.
literally, you know that hedgehog game? I'd be like that, like breaking them all. Because at one point you would have to swap, and one of them was just you'd have to check if the cream was right. So I'd be like, nah,
It's shite.
they're all fucked. The guy would be sitting back and going, "There's no fucking tea cakes." But my next job was in Boots, so I'd never like face to face served someone before my life. So I was like 18, 19. I was shitting myself, and the first guy comes up and he starts like rubbing himself here, and he was like, I think I might have an STD. And the guy behind me, like the pharmacist wasn't there, and the guy behind me was just like watching it. He was a big, like he was sound. He's like a big Celtic fan as well, so I already had a laugh.
He's sound, is that why? That's the only reason why he's sound.
And he just sat and like watched, and he was like, "No, you need to talk to him." I didn't. I could have just went out and you see the pharmacist, and I was like, "What are your symptoms?" And he's like, "Oh well, it's like getting a bit yellow and there's like fluid." And I'm like, "All right, have you tried Germaline?"
Oh my god, I can picture your face.
Sudocrem, mate. Got some just cold and flu tablets.
Stick some ice on it and fuck off.
Fucking terrifying, mate. But I've never been more awkward in my life.
What did you do?
The pharmacist eventually. I told him to wait, and then I got the pharmacist.
Oh my god.
Some of the stuff that happened in that pharmacy was fried.
Is that in the middle of Glasgow as well?
It was in a place called Hollytown, which is like near Motherwell, which was rough as fuck.
So
really,
you get some characters walking through
really
the door.
Rough. I remember a guy, we had like this reduced bit, and there was like no one bought anything from it ever. It was just sat there. Like we had a woman called Catherine that used to come in and just try. She used to always try steal the teeth strips every single day. We're like, Catherine,
We'll see you.
hey, here's your prescription. Don't walk that side. We know the teeth strips are there. Out the right hand side, Catherine.
Over her shoulder every time she's
like, I'm not doing it. And she's like, "I'm not Catherine." Watch it. And the reduced bit, there was this like litre of lube, and it was there for about like 4 months or whatever. And this truck driver just comes in, sees it, just grabs it, puts it down, and goes, "I'll be having a good night tonight." And I couldn't serve him from laughing. Like I had to go take a break. I was like, "Someone else
go serve
That's
back."
the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. And I also was picturing his big, massive trucker.
You can't not picture that. As soon as it's in your head, and he said that, there, it's just sort of like them. Not what you want to see.
All of those things were like character building. I'm so glad I did all that stuff.
It's made you. I've
not thought about that in years.
No, it's back. That's all you're thinking about.
Probably still using it. Maybe I was like, fucking
last 20 years. Fuck that.
How's all your work going now? I don't know how much you're willing to talk about, but I like actually talking about, because I feel like this industry's so pressurizing. Like it's like you see everyone else is doing all this shit,
and then you shite yourself.
Yeah, you have panic attacks.
Yeah, I'm never doing this.
Oh, he's making a lot more money than me. Why is that went viral? That video's called 2,000 views. But do you think you maybe rushed into like doing like products and stuff at all?
Too much too soon. I would say I could have rushed into the community, which I've sort of launched now, and it's going well, but I think I could have maybe left it until coming this year. I sort of rushed into it over the summer, and I was in holidays. I was away for like 3 weeks in holidays, and I was working in between. I was panicking myself, and I had a deadline set, so I think I took a lot on with that there. But in terms of other thing, I just done coaching 1-to-1, and I've done it for a good, I'd say about 8 months before I'd done the recipe.
In person?
I done in person for maybe like a month or two. Like,
did you?
Fuck all. I done with cousins and my brother. That was it. And I was
not
like,
enjoy it?
No, I didn't. It was just with football because I was working in the warehouse. I was still in the warehouse, so I was going to the gym myself at 6:30 to about 7:30. Home showered, worked from 8 to 5:30, straight to training, and I wasn't home till like 8. So I literally would have only been able to do weekends maybe if I was lucky. So I was like, I can try and go online straight away and see what the crack is here. So coached my brother Shay, done Sarah for a bit as well, but that's my fiance for anybody who doesn't know. They never listen to you in the gym. She needs another coach. Like, I tell her everything, and it's just one of those ones where it's like she's that stubborn to listen to me when she knows I'm right. And so I done a bit with her, and then her sister, and then I was just like, I'll try online, and it just started growing. And I don't think I rushed into it too much. Like I say, the community could have been the only thing I maybe rushed, but it's worked out for me, so I'm not panicking too much about it. So I think everything's going okay.
What?
I think I forget I've only done it like a year full time as well.
Yeah.
And I do sometimes sit back and, like you say, you look at other people and you're like, holy fuck, he looks way better than I do. Like, he's doing a lot more, he's making a lot more money. And then I'm like, right, you've only been at it for like a year, so calm the fuck.
Also, everyone's full of shit.
Yeah, true.
Everyone's lying about everything. That's why I know. So you go meet these people and I'm like, oh, you're full of shit.
Exactly. But I got a lot of, like, that's for someone who probably thought I was doing well, because Mitch texted me about it. I upgraded me and Sarah to business class in going to Dubai, and it fucking near skint me. But this is what I say, she supported me for about 5 years where I was skint, and she gave me everything. I just wanted to do that one thing for her, and I says there, I goes, look, it's taking a lot of money, and everyone was texting me on Instagram going, oh, you shouldn't be doing that, there's things people are broke and all in the world. I'm like, I fucking made this money. Like, and I done it and I got a lot of shit for it because then Mitch texted me like, what are you making that I'm not? And I goes, trust me, mate, I'm skint after this.
Do you know he actually brought that up to me? I was like, don't think that means he's a millionaire.
No, it doesn't. I said to anybody, like, I always have a rule when I go something big. You do, like, it's like the 20% rule where it leaves you less than 20% of what you've got in your bank. Don't go for it. And that did, like, I admitted, I was like, that fucking, it took a lot out of it, but I still done it just to have that bit of enjoyment. Like, I'll never do it again, probably in my life.
Would you do that? You wouldn't do it again?
I haven't got the fucking money to do it again. But no, the experience was class. Like, she loves sleeping, like my miss loves sleeping, so at 2 hours we're having a few drinks, and she slept, and I goes, fuck that there, big man, Cosmopolitan. He's just saying it down to me, and I was hammered getting off that flight.
I'd be turning the runway, or not the runway, what do you call it? The runway? Planes are landing in mine.
You just running out. But they was
I'd be turning that in a disco. Like.
Yeah, so people probably looked at that and thought I was fucking minted and making that, but I wasn't. Like, I'll admit that now. I just done that for a bit of enjoyment with my missus. So we've never really had that much time away. Like, we didn't have holidays for 4 years because I was over in America chasing a dream, and she was supporting me. How the
fuck did you keep up a relationship whilst you're in America?
It was tough. Like, fuck me, it wasn't perfect. There was bumps, and in my first year I was in dorm, she couldn't get over, so that you weren't allowed visitors staying. It was shit. And then we got our house next year, and she was over in midterm every time, so we'll seeing each other every 3 to 4 months. Still shit, like, but it just made it work. And then got engaged there last year, so we're getting married in 24.
Unreal.
Man.
And you're 25?
I'm 25, yeah.
Any tips for a 27-year-old single man?
You're fucked.
I probably am.
Getting there for
don't give them tortilla, Nutella and banana.
But no, it's one of them things. Even with family, the first time I actually got homesick was when I went to America, because I think I built it more up in my head. I was in the airport and I started getting these pains, and I was like to my mama, I think I'm down here. And she's like, no, you're getting anxiety, and I've never had anything like that before. It's like, you're just leaving further. And I think that first week was pretty tough because you're in dorms, and the dorms over there aren't fucking great. It was like a jail cell.
Basically a hostel or something.
Yeah, it was pretty shit. And then obviously when I met all the boys and the English and the Irish boys, you just felt at home, and it just sort of, it went.
I think it's because you can't just get home.
It's not like
Manchester. You can literally get a boat or
jump on a flight for like 40 quid or something like that, and over there it's near fucking 500 for a flight. So it's not like you're going over every week.
Yeah, fuck, that would stress you out. Yeah, fair. And when the second and third, so did you like literally go months without seeing her?
Yeah,
all
months.
the time.
All
and
the
how would you keep that up?
Just FaceTime. That's all we had.
Genuinely?
Yeah, and the thing was, she was 5 hours ahead of me, so she was going to bed at maybe like 10. And it was only 5 o'clock where I was, and I was only getting them from football. So we maybe only had like an hour window. Like in the morning, had maybe like half an hour, but she has at work, so she couldn't be on her phone all the time. And then that hour window to FaceTime, and sometimes we'd only FaceTime once a week. And it was just fucking mental. But we were so busy in America to the point where like it didn't faze me as much until maybe the weeks we had a week off. And then I was sort of thinking like, fuck, I want to go home now.
How did you meet her?
We went to school together. We grew up together.
But you weren't going out when you were playing with Man U?
I got asked this in the last podcast. We were at the Milk Cup. It's in Ireland every year with United.
So my mate used to do freestyle at that.
Did he?
One of my best mates is also from Belfast, and he used to do freestyle at the Milk Cup.
We went over with United, and I don't know what, we were just sitting in the hotel room, and I was scrolling through WhatsApp, and I had her number, or Snapchat maybe. And I goes to my mate, I go, she's fit, isn't she? And he's like, yeah, she's decent. I was like, fucking, I'm going to text her. So I text her. How do you fucking make us bigger? I just text her, and we knew each other, like we always knew each other growing up and stuff. We just never really talked that much, and I know her whole family from growing up and playing around like locally. So yeah, we just sort of fucking hit it off from there, and it was just didn't commit to anything for ages.
What was your first date?
Our first date was I met her in our local park in Caswell. Just went for a walk. We strolled.
Did you?
I think they're handy. This is dating advice for anybody listening here. See if you have like you go out for a meal, I think it's really intense because you're sitting staring at each other like that there. Yeah. Whereas if you're going for a wee dander or something, having a chat, you don't have to like be nervous and make eye contact. You can just walk along and talk shit. I think it's one of the best things to do.
I've been going for coffee dates.
Have you?
Yeah, instead of food and stuff.
And just take it for a dander.
Just the first few, because I used to just get steaming.
Meet me at the bar.
I used to just treat it like going out for drinks with my mate. I used to get blind drunk, and then go, I fucking had a great time, and then meet them sober.
You're like, you're decent.
We have nothing in common. Like, not even the slightest thing. I was just like, I had 10 pints and I could have had a great time with anyone.
Do you feel pressured now you're getting older with dating and stuff like that there?
Well, so I was seeing a girl there for like 4 months, right? And my first, we broke up. I just wasn't into it that as much. And the first thought I came that came in my head was like, Gavin, you're 27 now. And the longest relationship you've had is 6 months. And even then, I was actually like, fuck, I'm about to hit 6 months for the first time. I broke up with her the next day.
Serious?
Yeah.
You panic?
No, we had a massive
Aye,
argument.
fair enough,
It was one of them I had to end, like a huge argument.
Fuck.
And this last one, I was like, you're 27. Like, what's going on? We need to sort this out. And I went downstairs and told my dad, and he was like, you're 27. You need to sort this out.
He said the exact same thing.
But to be fair, like my dad went out with my mum for 8 years, and he's been like the most single man ever since. Yeah, coffee dates. I've been trying. It's just different, mate. It is different because you can't. Like the first one I went on, even at the end, right? I'm like, you don't kiss someone when you're
what do
on
you
a
do?
coffee date, like in the middle of a park. Like it's so weird. And the first one I went on, I was still in London.
Aye.
So we went like a walk or whatever, and then went back, and it was like Oxford Circus is where I left her, and I was like, "There's absolutely not a chance."
It's fucking mental
I'm
there.
trying to stick the lips on.
I couldn't. I don't know. I wouldn't know what to say on a date. Me and my missus had this conversation the other day. We're like, not the other day when we were watching Love Island or something when they do the dates, and I'm like, I wouldn't know what to fucking say anymore. Like, what do you say to people? Like, we've been in a relationship that long. It's been 9 years or something. I generally could not chat another bird up if I was single. I'd be fucked.
You having a good night? I'm having a good night.
You got nerve forever. I can show you how to make nice meals.
Mate, it's the sober thing's so much harder because I used to think I was decent at dating. I just realised I was decent at drinking.
Aye, and you had the confidence when the drink
I
goes
was
in.
decent with 6 pints in me.
Exactly. I think everybody is, to be honest with you.
So I've been trying to do the sober ones, but definitely a completely different vibe. And I feel like you have to go on more dates before you actually get to know them. Because like when you're drinking, you start like opening up way quicker than when you're sober. So you don't really get to know someone sober as well.
Yeah, you blab everything out when the drink's in you, and you forget what you say the next
Which is
day.
probably all your red flags, so it's probably a good thing.
True.
So I'm trying. I'm gonna keep doing them. I don't want to go back to drinking, and I hate being hungover now anyway. Like I can't stand it.
I still am from Sunday.
Yeah, I would be as well. So where were you?
Manchester.
How was that?
Sorry, I've got something in my chest.
Out
Brutal. Too many cocktails.
Out with the midget.
I texted him, he didn't reply. No, I went over there for the weekend. Just it was me and her brother were going to the match, and they were going shopping. But we had cocktails planned in Turtle Bay. For anybody that knows that, there it is decent. Like it's good wee vibe. But I don't do well drink anymore. Like I've done it all. I've done my drinking when I was in college and stuff like that. And see now, it sounds bad because I'm only 25, but it's just not worth it anymore.
25 is the age I hit where I couldn't handle it the same way.
I think that's what's hitting me now.
It was hangovers, and also just I can't last as long on a night out. Like I used to be able to just like keep drinking pints, and obviously I get more drunk or whatever, but I could stay out.
You could keep going.
And I can't do that anymore. And I'm not talking about I was like odd stuff. I wasn't. I could literally just drink. I could literally go out at like 2 to like 12. Space out loads of pints and I'd be fine. I can't do it anymore. Like I get to like 6 and I'm fucked.
I'm a greedy cunt too. I need something in my hand all the time, so I'll just keep drinking and then my levels and my eyes start getting heavier, and then I'll just be sitting in the corner near fucking sleeping. And
like Michael said to me, so Michael would have been the opposite. He never really drank at all, and like we were out the other Saturday and he was like, you're drinking that dead slow, and like that's the first time people would ever have said that to me in my life.
Especially
but I can't.
From him too.
Yeah, exactly. It's the opposite, and he's now like doing the opposite. He's starting to go out
a wee bit more.
He doesn't give a fuck about how he looks and all that, and he used to be dead into the gym and shit.
I think you get that as well. Like I was sort of like that. I was always, you have to look good, you have to look well. Whereas now some people still be like, how are you a PT? Or someone replied to one of my videos, where's your muscles if you're going to say that there? I was like, fuck up, would you?
I get that every single day.
Just fuck up.
Which is fair.
I'm the same. Like
I look like Novak Djokovic.
You look at Big Tony and then you look at all us. Bog standard.
But I wouldn't want to be massive. Like, genuinely, I have no interest in it.
I just need to be football. I just want to be in decent shape for football.
Have you packed in football? Is that you done?
No, I'm coming back. But no, I was training there for the last 2 weeks, and I said that the sign me. Just you can sign whatever for
how much for
amateur. Fuck, I wish it was money. Amateur contract. There's no payments. None. I was just training with him locally, and he says maybe could you give me a couple of games for January if you want to go back and try and push up. And I just said to him at the minute I'm not like aiming for a certain time or a certain team to go for. I'm just sort of going to enjoy it locally for however long I do it for, and then continue with my coaching, prioritise that, and then if anything comes of it, then I'm going to go for there. But I'm on a fucking waiting list to get driving lessons and stuff, so I want to wait till I get my test until I want to go anywhere. Did you just pass? Doesn't make me feel as bad then.
Oh, mate,
fucking every cunt their dog's got one, and I'm on a waiting list.
I won't go in. I've talked about it too much on this podcast, but yeah, mate, the bane of my life for the last
it's horrible,
years.
And that's the one reason why I won't go to football like up in Belfast and stuff yet, because my woman would have to drive me, and I can't be arsed with it. It's not for us. She would, like, she generally says I would drive you anywhere, but I don't want that.
It's actually worse the like older you get, try to do it.
Oh yeah,
you just feel like such a dick.
I know, and I'm doing all the wee fucking theory tests and all, and I'm doing all right now. And it's like I just need to get into.
Mate, I had to go to Preston to do my theory test.
Serious?
Because the Glasgow waiting list was like 6 months.
It's mad.
I had to go to Preston, which is inbred.
That's the one thing I regret. You asked me earlier in the podcast, what do you regret? At United, spending all my money on that, and that, because all the rest of the boys were using their money to get lessons. Well, not all of them, about 3 or 4 of them, whereas we were all just going to Trafford Centre in Manchester and spending everything we could. So that's the one regret I have from my money making in Manchester. I just didn't use it wisely at all. I should have got my fucking test.
It's do you know what I noticed when I came home as well? See, when you can't drive, like, everyone just thinks you're got something wrong with you.
It's a red flag. Do you ever see X in every fucking thing? It's like when he doesn't drive and he's past 25 years old.
Well, I keep saying that, like, my car is more of an ick than me not driving. Like, I'm driving my auntie's car. It's like a blue Ford Fiesta. It's got a love heart swinging in the back, and it's also got a monkey like glued to the window like that, and it says monkeying around on it.
I'd rather walk.
And the first time I went to do a podcast near mine, and it was the first time I'd ever drove, and I drove for a town I'd never drove in. And like the boy I was doing it with watched me like stall as I was going forwards into like a car parking space, stall 4 times, and I had to get him to do it. I had to get him to put it straight, just drive the car straight.
And I think the older you get, the more you worry about it. Like,
I was terrified driving.
Think of me the thought of me driving now, I'd be like, fuck, that's actually scary. Whereas when I was younger, I was like, I can't wait to do it. I was buzzing to do it, and then now I'm like, I think you get worse as you get older. You panic about things a bit more.
Are you careful with what you're posting on socials?
Not really. Like, fuck, there's nothing. Like, I haven't got any outrageous opinions, and the people ask me an opinion on anything, and I want to answer it, I'll answer it. But like, I swear, and you probably notice now in my videos, I'm the exact same. Like, I'm really fucking loud and just I'm jumpy. But I don't think I'm careful, but I don't think I've answered anything outrageous yet to the point where people are like, fuck him, or cancel it, because I done one on artificial sweeteners, and I done one
controversial.
It is though. The fucking in America, it's like fucking such a big thing. I lost 5,000 followers that week.
Did you?
I swear, just off that one video.
What did you say?
I just said about Coke Zero being completely grand and moderation, and swapping it out for Coke to save calories. And I mean, I got fucking rinsed all, and I looked, nearly every single one was American, and I argued with every single one of them underneath.
Did you?
Oh, I got the engagement up mad, but like, I lost 5,000 that week, and then from there it just keeps declining. I was like, it's fucking mad.
Do you get much abuse from in your DMs as well?
Yeah, I'd get a lot, and especially when I was saying to Tony earlier, I do anonymous Q&As, because people be like, don't do it, it's bad. I like it. I love seeing like people what they really think, I just laugh at it. Like, I don't know, like, a lot of people don't like seeing stick and stuff, but it wouldn't bother me too much. Like, I'm sure you're probably the same. You can deal with stick. I always see it in your TikToks and stuff, just slobbering. But I think it's funny just to give them a bit of abuse back. But like, a wee funny one, and they hate that even more, and they get more riled up, and you're just taking the piss. Like, I thrive off things like that there.
So I stopped kind of doing it, because when people are actually like trying to debate with you about stuff, I don't care at all. Like, even if it's something that's a viewpoint that I have, see if it's fitness related, I'm like, honestly, go do whatever.
What's the point? You'll never change anybody's mind. That's what I always say.
I'm just like, go do what you want. I don't really care. I'm just gonna say what I think that will help people, and if you don't want to do it, I don't care.
It is.
So when people try to debate with me, I'm like, I don't get anything out of that.
Yeah, I know.
But my comments back to people are mostly like not about fitness anymore.
Like about people with dogs in their pictures.
Yeah, like, I made a comment about like going on holiday or whatever, not doing all-inclusive holidays when you're trying to diet. Yeah. And a woman wrote a comment about like how not great to hear this after I've been in all-inclusive in Lanzarote. And I was like, the problem isn't all-inclusive, the problem is you've went to Lanzarote for a week. That is hell.
That's bad enough.
That's hell. See all these, mate, I went to Benidorm for one day this year. We were in Alicante.
I seen that there.
Oh my God, that is the
worst. Do you not
get
your phone nicked?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
But even before that, they were walking up like the strip, and it's just like, it's like Malia, but it's also full of like 60-year-olds from Blackpool. Just minging me. And then you walk down the strip, it was 5 o'clock, and there was honestly like a woman pole dancing in front of no one. I was like, this is disgusting.
Need to
Like,
get out of here.
your shoes are sticking to the street and all that. I think Tenerife's the only one that I can like get on board with. Like, see all these like Lanzarote, Gran Canaria,
They're
and
all
all
family sort of. They're a lot very English orientated as well, so they are.
Just like fucking like the Lion Bar or whatever, with all the British flags and like a bull and all that. That is just not me at all.
Yeah, no, I'm the same. My dad always says you should never have to leave Ireland. He's obsessed with Ireland. He just thinks it's fucking brilliant.
Where's he going holidaying?
He fucking what do you call it? Donegal. He goes to Donegal. He loves Sligo. He just goes about all these wee Airbnbs with my ma. He just loves the country. Like, my brother had a child quite young, so my brother had a child at 18.
If someone where I'm from was like, I'm going to Sligo and holiday.
My dad's perspective in life just changed as soon as he became a granddad. He just turned old. He just stopped doing all these young things, and he started watching fucking like Gold Miners USA, all these things on the Discovery Channel.
Hey, my dad doesn't. That must just be that's not a Irish or Scottish thing. I think that's just an old man thing, because my dad watches.
I don't
have
think
you
they
seen
want to
the
watch
two?
it. They just put it on.
There's the two Americans that just travel around in a van and they buy stuff from like antique shops or whatever, and then they try sell it. My dad's obsessed.
It's not
with
that Homes Under the Hammer.
No, no. This is like an American version where they'll just go around all these fried places in like Southern America and just buy stuff. They'll be like, oh, we've heard there's a garage, and they'll be going into like Texas or something. This guy's just got a garage full of like random stuff, and they'll just buy stuff off him, sell it. And my dad's sitting eating cornflakes. Oh, fucking class.
If you ask my dad what's the one thing you'd love to do, like if you anything, he'd be like rent an RV and just go the whole way around Ireland.
Fuck off.
He loves it. I swear to God, he loves it.
My dad just bought a van, and this was lives for a 3-month fucking the whole escapade with all this happening. He bought a van because he wanted to turn it into a camper van. My dad wants to sell the house, and he wants to just live on the road in Scotland so he doesn't have to pay tax. And he's just going to shower in like leisure centres.
That's brilliant. Are you going to go with him?
No. It's like, I'll keep the house. Fuck that.
You bad off him.
But yeah, that's what he wants to do.
That's the
He's
same
like,
as my dad.
I want to see Scotland. It's like, you've been here for 54 years or 57, sorry.
It's the same everywhere. Everywhere you go in Ireland.
Finally, I want to see Scotland. Go then. Just keep the house. Just go for the weekend. You don't need
don't sell it.
You don't need a camper van.
Fucking brilliant. It is. It must be an old man thing. I think that's hilarious. So like if my dad, I'm going away to countries and Mummy be like, oh, where are you going? I'm like, I'm heading to Dubai, and I'll just see him sitting there.
My dad
raging by sitting on the sofa.
My dad refused. My dad's like, I'm not watching the World Cup. I'm not watching this in Qatar. I hate the Middle East. He's like that. America as well. He's just anything with a different culture is just not
him
at all.
He doesn't.
And I think that's ingrained in me as well from going away. Like I don't hate English people, but I see if I hear an accent, I go, fucking English. Do you know what I mean? But that's ingrained in me from my dad.
It is. It's where you grew up from, and what you hear growing up as a child, you're just sort of like, best not repeated, but you hear it, you're just like, it's just sort of, it's instilled in you.
My mum and dad ran a pub in London, and my dad told me that, like, out of all the regulars, none of his mates were English. It's like, why did you move to London? Well, I suppose I've done the same thing.
I was going to say that. It is, you're just exactly
I'm just
like
my
your
dad. Make the exact same mistakes as him.
Brilliant.
Right, here, I think we'll wrap this up, mate. This has been an absolute pleasure. It's been a random chat.
It was. I don't think we touched on anything.
I just wanted to bring up the Linfield thing.
That's all you wrote down.
Just scoring an overhead kick.
When was that? Yeah.
Against Larne. Was it against Larne?
Oh, yeah, it was against. I was going to go for the one against America.
Why is there not a video of that?
It was quite shit.
Was it?
I sort of...
Did you just fall over backwards?
Yeah, it was. Like, that's what it was. All the boys were taking the piss out of me the next week. I was like, fuck, I sped it up so it looked better on my video. On my highlights on YouTube, I put it on 2 speed.
Have you got a highlights thing?
I didn't make one. I never made one. Couldn't be arsed with.
I'd have loved that.
Fuck, no. That's why, exactly the reason I didn't make it, because when you're older and that's still on YouTube, you're just getting the piss tick.
Shittest overhead kick ever. Do you want to plug some of your stuff? Nah?
I think I'm good. I've got a recipe book. Right. No, there's nothing to plug. I've got a recipe book if anybody wants to buy one.
Off then. Get the fuck out of this building.
But do you ever hear people like, you want to plug anything and they spend about 20 minutes? I was like, nah, just follow me on Instagram, Ruairi Croskery Fitness, and that's about the height of it.
Right, catch you after, mate.